Welcome back to another review by Mega Train Lover. Today we're having a look at another Heljan model this time, as you can see from the box, and you've probably guessed from the title already what it is. And this one is in the older Heljan packaging, as opposed to the Class 86's one, which had the clear kind of window on the front to enable you to see the model. But this is a model which is very, very rare, and it's one which I've been wanting to get for a very, very long time. And I finally managed to find one, and it is the BR Class 28. If we turn to the side, you can see its product code is item 28001, Class 28, number D5700 in full BR green. Now, bit of history on the Class 28, or as they were known originally, the Metropolitan Vickers Diesel Electric Type 2. These were a class of 20 diesel locomotives built between 1958 and 1959. They were built by Metropolitan Vickers, as their name suggests, and they were built for mixed traffic use. When they were first introduced, they were put onto expresses, and they were also put onto a special named freight service known as the Condor, which was short for container door-to-door, which was a daily fast goods train which ran from Glasgow to London. And it ran first along the West Coast Main Line, then it went obviously onto the Midland Main Line because it went to St Pancras. And these locomotives originally were based on the Midland Main Line. They were based out of Derby and Cricklewood. Now, although they were introduced with great fanfare, behind all that, behind all the publicity, the locomotives suffered from major teething troubles. One of the more minor issues, but nonetheless an issue which had to be remedied, was their windshield. Originally they had a wraparound window which kept falling out, so they later had to go back to Metropolitan Vickers Works, and they had to have the cab windows replaced. But the major flaw they had throughout their entire lives was their engines. They were fitted with a Crossley engine, which was very, very unreliable. So these locomotives, although they were a very good design, they had terrible engines. And these locomotives, they became unique amongst British locomotives for the fact that they had a co-bow wheel arrangement. So other locomotives, such as the Class 37, the Class 47, they are co-coes. So Class 37, for example, has got two sets of six-wheeled bogies. Then you've got locomotives like the Class 25, the Class 33, etc., which have a bow wheel arrangement because they've got two sets of four-wheeled bogies. The Class 28, or the Metropolitan Vickers Type 2, had a bow bogie at one end and a it had a co-bogie at one end and a bow bogie at the other end. So it had a six-wheel bogie and then a four-wheel bogie. So in total it had 5 wheels. This helped with weight distribution, so they had great route availability, and it also minimised the risk of wheel slip. And it was a unique design amongst British diesels because there was no other diesel with the same kind of wheel arrangement. Despite this, however, their engine troubles could not be overlooked. It was a constant underlying issue throughout their entire lives, and sadly this did mean a very, very premature end to the 20 fleet of Class 28s. By the late 1960s, they'd all been reallocated to Barrow and Carnforth to work services in the northwest, so they moved away from the Midland Main Line. The first withdrawal started in 1967, and the last locomotive was withdrawn in 1969. Out of the 20 built, one thus survived. It survived by becoming a test locomotive for British Rail at the Derby Research Centre. Then it became a carriage heating locomotive, and it was preserved in 1980. This particular loco is number D5705, and it is currently undergoing restoration at the East Lancashire Railway back into working order. Hopefully in the next few years we'll be able to see D5705 return and see a Class 28 Kobo in action for the first time in about 60 years or so. Anyway, let's have a look at the model itself. So we'll put the box to one side. As usual, the model is not in the box. I've taken it out, I've given it a run in, etc. Let's put the box to one side. And here's what we've all been waiting for. The Metropolitan Vickers Type 2. Wow. Wow. Well, where can I start? Firstly, the weight. It's quite heavy. Not as heavy as other Heljan models, but no problems with traction. I can definitely see it. Where do I begin? Honestly, I mean, firstly, the livery is spot on. Can't fault the livery. Yes, I am aware that one of the handrails here is missing. Yeah, I don't know where it's gone. These things happen. I do apologise for that. I am aware of the missing handrail here, but that's fine. These things happen. Well, let's start at the front. That's where I usually start in my reviews. You get the very, very characteristic look of the model. These headcode discs, you can fit them yourself. I have fitted these, so you can fit the white disc. Oops, I'll put that back. You can fit the white discs to basically show which way the locomotive is heading, and you can fit these closed position discs in order to cover up the lights, because all the lights work. When it's coming towards you, the head codes themselves light up. When it's going away, the tail lights work. You get sprung buffers on all four corners of the locomotive. As you can see at this end, if I bring my phone, because it's getting a bit dark, at this end I fitted the closed position for all the head codes because I don't need them here. But I will be refitting the one that just fell off. That's a bit of a blooper in this video. Let's just carry on. So when you get the model, all the detail on the front is already pre-fitted. That's at both ends. So at this end, I've kept the details. So you get all the couplings and the brake pipes and stuff. I've kept all of that. If we look inside, you get quite a bit of cab detail. You can very, very clearly see the throttle, which is very nicely modelled. But if we look at the other end, which I'm just going to quickly turn it round. See, if we look at the other end, I've had to remove the detail in order to accommodate the tension lock coupling. If it focuses, come on, there we go. You can see it's got a shed code at the front, which is 17A. Which I've checked, it is actually for Derby, so this was a Derby based loco, and D5700 was actually the very first Class 28 or Metrovic Type 2 built in 1958. I just absolutely love the way all of the panels have been separately painted. They've got very, very nice texture on them, and it just makes it look so much more interesting, and the roof as well. You know, the roof is a different colour. It just makes it look so much more interesting rather than just having everything in one colour. It really, really stands out. And even the bogies are painted in this kind of silvery white colour. Obviously, they wouldn't be like that eventually. You know, over time they do get weathered, which is just normal. But this is how the locomotive pretty much was as delivered, except for the fact that this one doesn't have the wrap-round windscreen on the front, because this shows its sort of post-modified condition after the windscreen issue was resolved. But you get all this underframe detail. I mean, just look at that. Look at all the pipework running above the bogie, underneath, all the compressors and everything. The spring detail on the bogies. Yeah, honestly, it's a beautiful looking model. You get wire on the other side as well. Yeah, stunning, absolutely stunning. I mean, there's not much else to say really. I mean, other than the fact that it's just gorgeous. Yeah, you even get quite a bit of detail on the bogies themselves. So apart from the springs, apart from the springs, you get like the brake rigging picked out as well. But yeah, honestly, it's such a nice looking model. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Considering the fact that this model is about 10, 11 years old now, it still looks the part. It's really, really nice. The good news is that Rails of Sheffield are re-releasing these models. So if you weren't able to get them when they were first released, you're going to be able to get them very, very soon. They're going to be released, I think, I think next year probably. But yeah, honestly, it's such a beautiful looking model of such a rare class of diesel. However, looks may be one thing. How does it perform? Let's see. Here we have the Heljan Class 28 on the track. We're going to select her number first and turn on the lights. Now, I have turned them on. They are very, very subtle, but you can just about see. There you go. You can just see the discs lit up. There is a bit of light bleeding through from the discs which I've covered, but all four of the head codes light up. Anyway, let's give it some power and watch it go. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And away it goes. Oh, so no trouble with the pickups at all. Very smooth runner. I do like the buzzing sound from it actually. I know it is a bit irritating to some, but I personally really like it. It does add a bit of life to the model. Let's get a few shots of her passing. Yeah, very, very nice model. Looks the part, runs beautifully. Yeah, can't fault it for a model that's just over 10 years old. Brilliant. Just to conclude this review, I'm very, very pleased with this model. Obviously, as I mentioned, Rails of Sheffield are bringing these out again through Heljan. Obviously, Heljan are making them, Rails of Sheffield are distributing them. You can pre-order yours. They are in limited numbers as far as I'm aware, but if you would like to pick one up, then you can do so. I think they're about £200. But yeah, honestly, these look absolutely brilliant. The Class 28 looks absolutely brilliant. Very, very, very pleased with this model. It's a very unique loco with its bow wheel arrangement. Yeah, that's all I have to say really. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.